it's December already. We only have one more month left, just a few days. There's a holiday season, and we're gonna fly by this pretty quick. So I was thinking, a lot of times people are, getting ready for Christmas or whatever you celebrate, and they're planning for the next year. And if you're looking to purchase a property and you want to get yourself together, want to get yourself ready, this is something that we kind of do on the front end when we start the mortgage process. And I was thinking about this. I was in the military for a long time, and anytime the pilots leave, they had what they call flight plans. So they had an idea where they were going, how long it's going to take to get there, how much fuel they needed. Everything was notated on the flight plan. And I was like, you know what? Let's call this the mortgage plan. So kind of like a flight plan, but this is for mortgages. You need to know what you need in order for you to qualify for a mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're, buying a house or you're going to do a refinance. These are simple things that you need for your mortgage plan in order for you to press forward with the process. So let's just make this real quick. Not going to be a long video, I promise you. And this is going to cover almost every type of mortgage, including if you're in Social Security, if you're a veteran. There's some additional documents that you're going to need. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first set of documents you're going to need is your driver's license. Now, make sure you have a license that is not expired, have your latest address that's on there, and of course, a picture ID. Always going to need a driver's license to make sure that we have the correct identity for yourself. So a driver's license or a passport would do just fine. The next thing would be your pay stubs. So if you're a W-2 employee, just 30 days of pay stubs is typically what we'll need. So if you get paid every week, we'll need 4 weeks of pay stubs. If you get paid every 2 weeks, then 2 pay stubs for the 30-day period. So however you get paid, as long as we can cover 30 days of pay stubs. And on the pay stub, what we're looking for are your salary, are you hourly, how much money you made year to date would be something that would be important for us to look at. The other thing would be, is there any type of deductions on your pay stubs? So just real quickly, and we'll use that to even show that you still have a job, and we want to match your income to your verification of employment, because we're probably going to do that too. And normally we'll want the pay stubs to match that. The next thing would be is 2 months of bank statements. So if you're going to be using your money for your down payment and your closing costs, we would like to see 60 days of bank statements, with 2 months of bank statements. And we're going to go in there just to make sure the money that you say you have is in the account. The other thing that sometimes the lender will look for is any type of cash deposits, anything that's kind of out of the ordinary on your bank statement. So we'll go over that once you speak to me, and we'll make sure that all that makes sense. And if, say, you have 4 or 5 accounts, I see people all the time that have so many different accounts. You don't have to send us all your accounts, just the main one you're going to use for the real estate purchase. And we'll review it to make sure everything makes sense on your bank statements, and we'll take it from there. The next thing will be is your W-2s. I know if you're a W-2 employee, we're going to add last 2 years of W-2. So if it's 2025, we need your 2023 and 2024. Now that we're merging into the new year, we need 2024 and 2025. And that way we can see how much money you made in the last 2 years to get an average of what you made, and which would be very important to us, just to make sure that we have your income 100% correct. Now, for all of our people that are receiving Social Security, so if you're receiving Social Security, obviously you're not getting any type of pay stubs, but you're going to have what they call a Social Security awards letter. On that awards letter is going to tell us how much money that you're going to receive from Social Security every single year. And the great thing about that is every single year, when it increases, we'll get the latest amount, and it will break down if you're paying taxes or not paying taxes. So we'll need that. The other thing also, with the disability letter or retirement letter, you're going to get an awards letter. So make sure you have those, because you're not going to be receiving any type of pay stubs if you were retired, but you will have a retirement letter. The retirement letter would show that, when you retired, how much money you're making right now with your retirement. And that way we can use that for your income. The same thing with your disability. You get an awards letter for that too. It will show the full breakdown. With all of our veterans, there's a few additional things for you guys. So if you are a veteran, it's good to have your DD 214. And if you're not sure what that is, then you're probably not in the military. So your DD-214 is your discharge documents. It will show the time that you joined the military to the time that you got out of the military. Now, if you're in the guard, you have a few additional things going on there because you may have multiple DD-214. So just make sure you have as many as you can, because some people have 5, 6, 7 different DD-214s. It's just showing that you were probably deployed somewhere in a war zone, and it showed the duration of time that you're gone. But it's good to have your DD-214. So if you're active duty or retired, your guard, make sure you have your DD-214s. Your certificate of eligibility is extremely important. Now, if you don't have that, it's okay. We could order that for you. It just takes a few minutes. And sometimes it may ask us for your DD-214 to plug in the date. So it's still good to have that the DD-214. So that way you'll know the dates that you have, because sometimes when the certificate of eligibility, when we going through the application itself, if the dates do not match, it's probably going to throw out your certificate of eligibility because the dates are not matching. It's basically there to show us that, okay, all the information that they're provided is accurate. And so make sure you have the DD-214 to kind of cross-reference with your certificate of eligibility. Typically, we don't need that, but sometimes you do. So if you do not have your certificate of eligibility, don't worry, I can get that for you. So that isn't a problem. The other thing, if you're in a guard, say you don't have any type of DD-214s at all, then you will have your NGB form, which is NGB form 23. I also get the form number, but NGB form 23, and it's going to show your retirement points. So it'll show the whole time you're in the military. So say you were never deployed, but you were just in the military the whole duration, then you'll have that form to show how many points that you received. And we'll take a look at it just to make sure that you was in the military long enough and you have enough points to use your VA home loan. And that's basically all you would need. Now, there's going to be some one-off situations. So if you're self-employed, we'll just need to see your bank statements. But for you guys, let me walk you through that process, because it's not the same for each person. This is more or less your traditional financing for your conventional loan, your FHA, your USDA, and your VA loan, the checklist that I just gave you. So as long as you have this, that would be great. And the last thing I would add, I will put all of these items into like one folder. So if you have a desktop, save it all into one folder. And then when I ask for this documentation, then you can just send it to me directly. And it's really easy to find everything. It's not a piecemeal when you send in one email and 2 or 3 different emails. Everything is all together. So you can send it all in one email. And trust me, it'll make me very happy, or whoever you're using for your loan officer would be very happy with that. But that would be the basics of what you would need. Now, anything on top of that is just meaning that it's just because you have a special situation or your scenario is slightly different. But these are the basics. So just make sure you have all these things in handy and you should be fine. One other thing I do want to add, depending on what type of, sometimes with the down payment assistance program, they would like to see your tax returns. So I will have your tax returns just to be on the safe side. I like to look at tax returns too, because it will show us that you're not paying some type of monthly payment for your past taxes. So say you owed money 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or 1 year ago, it was showing your tax returns. And that way we could do the proper calculations for that. Or if you still owe money to the IRS, it'll be notated on your tax return. So that'll be really good for us to see that as well. So make sure you have that all handy. If you have any questions about any of your documentation, just of course, ask me and we could go through that. But these are the basic documentations that you would need for you to have your mortgage plan. All right, that's all I have for you today. Peace out.